Hi, everyone. We're just giving everyone some time to join, so we'll wait for a few more minutes before we get started. For those just joining now, we were just giving uh, everyone a little bit of time to join, but I think we're actually gonna get started now. So here we are. Thanks everyone for coming. Nice to see some familiar faces. Welcome. Um, Zach. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Thanks for joining. As you know, NetSuite AI is evolving super fast right now. Oracle has been releasing new capabilities every few months, and sometimes it's kind of hard to keep track of what's actually live today, what is still on the roadmap. So that's one of the things we want to clear up today. We are going to start by looking a little bit into what the Oracle AI investment is. The scale of what they're um, building tells you a lot about where they're heading. And we'll get into NetSuite Next, which is the biggest platform overhaul basically since NetSuite was founded and everything that's coming along with it. We'll then kind of shift from future to present and show you a little bit about the things you can actually use right now. And then we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. This is, of course, a live session, so drop your questions as we go. Feel free. We'll get into that in a minute. Before we get started, I'll mention a few ways that you guys can interact with us through the session. So the chat is going to be open the whole time. So if you want to share your thoughts, comments, or experiences as we go, we would really love to hear from you. And if you have questions that we want to tackle, that you want us to tackle, please use the QA panel instead of the chat, because that's going to help us keep everything organized. We'll try to answer as they come along. If not, we'll find some time at the end to cover the questions. And if you are joining us on YouTube, don't worry, we're going to be keeping an eye on the chat there, so you can participate and ask questions from there as well. We always like to keep this as interactive as possible, so don't be shy. Keep your comments and questions coming along. Okay, for those who don't know who we are, I'm Fran, Director, Tavano Team. Tavano Team is basically a NetSuite e-commerce agency. So we have been NetSuite partners for 15 years. We are an award-winning agency, and we specialize in building and supporting and maintaining e-commerce websites for merchants that are exclusively running on NetSuite. I will take this opportunity to hand it over to Marcelo, who's also joining us today from our new sister brand, Dolphia. I'll let you, Marcel, tell us a little bit about Dolphia.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Fran. So yeah, I mean, from my side, you probably known me as project manager in Tavano from one of the many projects and customers that I see right here with us. Right now, I'm Dolphia's studio director, just to give you an idea of what we are and what we do. We are your AI adoption partner. We help companies turn AI into measurable business performance. Our team helps out in training and building production-ready AI solutions that integrate into existing systems and workflows. We have been working with actually people that are in this very same webinar already, so we're very happy about it and very excited of the results that we have been able to bring along the way.
Perfect. Welcome, Marce. And to complete the introductions, I want to introduce you to Christian Thaxton from Oracle NetSuite. He's an ERP and an AI consultant. He has been nice enough to spare some of his busy time to walk us through everything I just said we're going to go over. So thank you so much, Christian, for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here, Fran. Thanks for having me. And like Fran mentioned, I'm a solution consultant here at NetSuite. Been here about 7 years now. And fully certified as NetSuite administrator, NetSuite consultant. It just means I love geeking out to all things NetSuite. In the last couple of years, especially, really been leaning into the AI space and what we're doing to help customers in that realm. So yeah, really excited to walk you through what's coming and what we have today to start leveraging.
Perfect. Okay, well, before we let you get started and take it away, we want to get a sense of the audience and where everyone is. So we're going to do a little poll. So where are you today in your personal AI maturity journey? So are you still exploring, learning what AI can do and where it can help you? Are you experimenting? So you basically test AI for different tools? Are you already integrating AI as part of your workflows, or are you advanced? You really know what you're doing. Okay, very mixed answers. That's fun. Okay. Perfect. That's great to know. And then one last question regarding more specific to what we're going to cover today. So we're just wondering if you've heard of any of the features that we're going to talk about today. So NetSuite Next, Ask Oracle, AI Canvas, the Redwood experience. You haven't heard of them yet, but you're curious, or you just haven't heard of them at all. Okay, so looks like most of you have
We have a
heard.
very informed audience, I would say.
That's great. So that's probably what sparked your curiosity and made you join the webinar. So that's great. Again, appreciate you guys answering. With that, I am going to just let you know that at the end, no need to take notes. We're going to be sharing through email a brief of everything that we covered today. So you can have that as a reference, and we will make ourselves available if you need additional help. So keep an eye on your inbox after we're done. And with that, I will just hand it over to Christian, who's going to walk us through the interesting stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me get shared here and we'll dive in. Awesome. Frank, can you just confirm you can see my slides?
Yeah, we're all good.
Beautiful. Okay, let's get going. So first things first, just have to cross T's, dot I's here. Really what the point of this is that the NetSuite roadmap and the AI technology in general is rapidly evolving. So some of the forward-looking stuff that we are going to see today may differ when it's actually delivered or released, but we still want to include that in today's presentation to give you a taste of what is coming, as well as like what's available in NetSuite today. And so with that, let's get going. So as things stand today, it's really impossible to separate the notion that an investment in NetSuite is also an investment in AI. All right, we've been in cloud-based ERP for 26 years now. We have 45,000 plus customers, 600 plus public companies running on NetSuite. And so everything we're doing in this space is going to be reliable, it's going to be secure, transparent, and audit ready, right? And that's what customers have come to expect from us over the past several years. Now, we all know that Evan loves to say, our founder, right? The best AI comes from the best data. Well, for all of you companies running on NetSuite, the best data is in NetSuite. There are over 1,000 different business objects and 10,000 plus connections between those business objects inside NetSuite alone, which is an incredibly context-rich data source to ground your AI responses. This is ultimately going to allow you to leverage AI more effectively, more efficiently, and get better outcomes from the AI that you are leveraging across the suite. We're also the only vertically integrated ERP. What that means from the ground up, we are owned and operated on Oracle technology. So our database, OCI, our autonomous database, has anomaly detection built in. So AI, even at the database layer, where it's healing and patching itself before issues become a problem or require human intervention. All the way through all of the AI services that Oracle is leveraging and rolling out that our NetSuite customer base is able to take advantage of, from both extending the platform with AI capabilities that we're going to be looking at today, as well as just embedding core AI features into the suite. And from the beginning, one of the biggest value props we offer our customers is the idea of extensibility. So you're able to create custom records, custom fields. We have an extensive suite app network where our partners are developing their own intellectual property. And here lately, we're extending that to AI capabilities. So the ability to extend the platform with your own custom Gen AI applications through the Model Context Protocol, our NetSuite AI connector, and all of our partners developing their AI solutions that are built into the platform as well. So at the end of the day, what this means for you is that you get AI where you want it, where you need it, and AI your way. And so when we look at that in terms of specifically NetSuite and in context, there are kind of three areas that we're going to be covering today. First, this notion of platform AI. How do we take the AI capabilities out there and allow you to extend what's possible in NetSuite? This is going to be through things like the NetSuite AI connector, like our SuiteScript Gen AI API, the idea that we're not just rolling out core features for you, you're able to determine how you want to use AI across the platform. In addition, as Fran alluded to, the biggest evolution in NetSuite's history, NetSuite Next. So this is where we're going. Bring you an AI-first embedded ERP experience that puts an AI assistant, Ask Oracle, at your fingertips. And we're going to be continuing to roll out AI capabilities across the suite inside NetSuite Next. And then more of those embedded core features, a lot of which are at your disposal today, that are just built into your day-to-day workflows. And we're continuously looking for and finding ways to bring additional AI features and capabilities to your finance teams across the ERP. And so if we look at this and really think about the evolution of AI and all of the features out there at your disposal, they really fall into kind of three buckets here, right? And as AI has transformed, it's really transformed the way that we've seen businesses operate across their day-to-day, as well as inside NetSuite specifically. So it's really shifted the mindset from looking at what happened in your business to helping you understand why it happened and what to do next. And so classic AI is, I like to call it AI before it was cool to talk about AI, and NetSuite had it. So these are things like your anomaly detection, like your predictive forecast, things that are helping you kind of scan and surface information on your behalf rather than having to go out and search for it. A few years ago, generative AI became all the rage with some of these frontier models being released. And we are continuously looking for ways to incorporate that into NetSuite, right? Whether that's through text enhance, being able to generate descriptions in text fields across NetSuite, to more of narrative insights, Ask Oracle Assistant. This is really transforming the way that users interact with their business systems, shifting it from point and click to now just natural language conversations, helping you search the system, raise insights, and explain what happened in your business. Where we're going and where the industry is really going is this notion of agentic AI, right? the ability for agents to plan, troubleshoot, reason, and act on your behalf. And until recently, there was a lot of hype around this, but not a lot of ROI. And so lately, especially with the continued improvement in some of these frontier models and just technology in general, we are starting to find ways to bring this to life so that some of those low value, repetitive tasks an agent can take over for you while keeping you informed along the way so that your team can focus on more of those value added tasks. And so when we think about where we're going, right, NetSuite Next is really that next evolution of NetSuite. And so this is going to be a redesigned AI-first experience inside your NetSuite environment. First things first, this is not a migration effort. It is a toggle, a click of a button, and you're taken to the NetSuite Next experience. And you'll see here that it looks very much still like the NetSuite you're used to today. And that is by design, except we're bringing forward a whole host of embedded AI experiences to improve your day-to-day operations. The cornerstone of this is the Ask Oracle Assistant. Now it starts with a redesigned global search that's based more off semantic language modeling. And so it's going to be able to allow you to find records more easily, more quickly. That seamlessly transitions into the Ask Oracle Assistant that travels with you throughout the platform and allows you to interact with your NetSuite data in context of your data, in context as you as a user, in natural language. So you can ask questions as simple as, list my top 5 open invoices. This is also where you'll start invoking agents and producing more robust visualizations. This really is the beginning of changing the way that we interact with NetSuite as a whole and allowing AI to do the work for us. And when we think about starting to tell a story with our data, right? AI is great at taking data, synthesizing it, analyzing it, and putting it in a way that makes sense to the user. So we're bringing that to life with AI canvases inside NetSuite Next. So the idea of taking just business data, telling a story, bringing it to life, and helping you understand what's going on in your business while providing you better insights and recommended next actions. So this really helps you understand your data and understand where you need to go next. Now, inside Ask Oracle, we're also incorporating the notion of skills and context. So think of this like your project instructions in Anthropic, OpenAI, where it'll allow you to tell Ask Oracle your expected outcomes or how you expect responses and allow more consistent, repeatable responses and results from your interactions with Ask Oracle. And we'll see some of that today. But maybe you like your outputs formatted in a certain way, or when it builds a canvas for you, you expect these type of results. Those are the type of things you can start including in skills to not only make it more efficient, but make it more consistent in terms of the outputs that it's providing you as a business user. On top of that, Ask Oracle is also where you're going to invoke suite agents. Now, there are some core agents that we're going to be rolling out behind the scenes as well, things that will just run for you as you're interacting with Ask Oracle. So querying reports, querying business metrics, creating custom SuiteQL queries to pull back your data. But you'll also be able to invoke and create your own agents, both as a developer, so you can create those through SuiteScript, as well as in Agent Studio, which is going to allow business users to create their own suite agents. And then you just invoke them in your natural language conversations with Ask Oracle to go out and do work for you. Now, all of this is, like I said, kind of future planned roadmap. It's in actuality, it may look slightly different, but we are planning on incorporating agentic AI into NetSuite Next through Ask Oracle so that AI agents can help you do work and be more efficient at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So with that, we're actually going to hop in now and take a look quickly at some of these features inside NetSuite Next before we go back into what's available to you today inside NetSuite. Okay, so as I mentioned, inside NetSuite Next looks very familiar to what you have at your disposal today. Same NetSuite, click of a button, but you're inside NetSuite Next. And so one of the kind of key features that we're going to highlight available today, but we are rolling forward into NetSuite Next, is this intelligent close manager. So this is going to bring forward and help you get closer to that continuous or 0-day close that Evan always talks about as the vision for NetSuite users. And so not only is this going to raise kind of priority tasks, who needs to do what to move us forward to close, scanning across your AR, your AP, accounting tasks to get things done, it's also going to surface generative AI insights here. So showing us potential variances in all of the exceptions that we need to review, flagging the highest priority tasks for us to get done to continue moving the close forward, as well as resolve some of these variances that it's seeing inside our data. And then it's going to provide all of the different tasks that we need to do, reviewing journal entries, reviewing approved, flagging missing journal entries, and it's going to link down into the underlying tasks or data that we need as well. Drilling down into this brings forward the exception management workbench. So these two play hand in hand. Now, exception management we'll cover a little bit more in detail, but that's scanning for anomalies in your financial data, helping surface them so that you don't have to go searching for them during your reconciliation. So we can quickly see here that we have a missing transaction for this month for almost $500,000. It's pulling back the detail that we need, and we can drill in for additional detail. This is surfacing everything we need to make an informed decision in a single place for us, so that we just review, can mark it as exception, move forward, or actually create the missing transaction. So we see here that we are expecting, based off historical transactions, a journal entry for around $500,000 for this month. It's missing today, and we can see all of the historical data inside that NetSuite is basing this information off of. So you can see for the past several months, we've had this journal entry posting around this given time each month. And directly from the exception management workbench here, I can go ahead and create this transaction. It will go ahead and create and apply the appropriate GL coding, the amounts for me, all of that with just the click of a button. So I'm spending less time entering data and more time moving my team forward toward close here. And again, the cornerstone of all this, right, bringing AI to the forefront through things like Intelligent Close Manager, exception management, but also the Ask Oracle digital assistant here. And so anywhere throughout the system, you're able to access Ask Oracle. You can keep it in a side drawer like we see here, so that you can continue doing work while interacting with it, as well as expanding it out to full screen. Now, what I've done here, you'll see across the top, I've actually added context. And so this is another capability where you can ground Ask Oracle in your data, whether it's looking at specific jail accounts, like 6,000 expenses and 4,000 sales, or a specific customer, invoice record, etc. It allows you to pinpoint and narrow in exactly what data you're asking about. And then I simply ask the Oracle, review my revenue and expenses over the past fiscal year, flag anything concerning. Again, specifically looking at 4,000 and 6,000 GL accounts here. So it's going to go out, going to query data, going to cross-check, it's going to reference data, making sure that it's pinpointing exactly what I'm asking here. So throughout all these turns, it's keeping me in the loop of what it's doing. And at the end, it produced a trend graph over time of my expenses and my sales. Produced in a month-over-month change as well. So for each month from January through July, showing me my sales percent change, expenses, and even giving me my expense percent as a percent of sales here. So helping me quickly identify what's going on in my data over the past several months. All I had to do was ask. I didn't have to go search, didn't have to run reports. I didn't have to export anything out to Excel, aggregate, pivot on it. All of those things that you know you're doing today on a day-to-day basis, Ask Oracle is doing for me. And it's giving me a brief explanation of what's going on in my sales and expenses. So from here, though, we can actually take this a step further. So like I mentioned, we can very easily add different skills, really instructions, so that it does more consistent work for us. I'm going to say, using this data, create a canvas focused on visuals like KPIs, tiles, and graphs. And so it's going to leverage that skill, which really tells it how I expect it to return a canvas as it's going out and building that. And it's going to take that data that it just synthesized for me and go out and build a canvas for me. Now, while that's churning for us, we're going to take a look at a couple other things here. So if I look at my previous chat, and all these chats are persistent, so I can always pull them up based off historical conversations and pick up right where I left off. And so one of these was list my top 5 open invoices. I was in here earlier. I wanted to know what was in the highest balance in USD. And so that actually returned a list of those top 5 open invoices, hyperlinking the actual record itself, as well as the customer. So I can always drill directly into that underlying record as you're accustomed to and accessing different reports inside NetSuite so that I can get additional detail as this information is pulled back for me inside Ask Oracle here. And now I mentioned some of the generative AI capabilities that we're rolling out across NetSuite as well. One of those being narrative insights. Today, you're able to do that on your reports like an income statement. We're expanding that in NetSuite Next to all of your records. And so with the click of a button, I can surface key information about this invoice right at my fingertips, from payment application details, saying there are no payments applied, a specific point of interest that this is overdue, so it highly recommends following up. Again, taking it from me asking what happened in my business to understanding why it happened and recommending what I need to do next without me having to go through that cognitive load of digging through records, data, finding specific data points. It's surfacing what I need to pay attention to for me.
Christian, if you don't mind, we have a question from the audience, and I think it's kind of related to what we're seeing here, where it says this is AI generated content created on this date. So someone's asking, this is from a few minutes ago, so maybe related to what you were showing a bit earlier, but do the fields in NetSuite show which are generated using AI, like for in the help text, for example?
That's a great question. So like on the specific like field records, I actually, that's the first time I've gotten that question. So I will.
I don't know either.
I know, like you said, like you've seen kind of the AI summaries. Some of those things are specifying it. Let's actually put that in the parking lot and see if we can take that as a follow-up here, Fran. That's a great question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen a lot of references to the stuff that is AI generated. You usually see that in the screen. So my guess would be yes, but let's get confirmation later. And thanks for the questions. Really good question.
And by the way, any question that is left unanswered after the webinar, when we send the information out, if we can get the answer, we'll definitely put it there so you can have it later.
Yep.
Anything else, Fran, at this point?
No. Keep going.
Awesome.
Sorry for the introduction.
No, great. That's a great question, and keep them coming here. Okay, one other thing before we go back to our canvas. Pulling up another chat here. As I mentioned, Ask Oracle is where you can invoke an agent. So it's pretty easy to either add a context, add skill, add an agent from within Ask Oracle with just an @ symbol. We can see that it's also persistent. So I've already used my cash flow optimizer agent inside this chat. So it's persisting throughout the chat as well. So I don't have to continue applying it every time. But in this example, with my cash flow agent, all I asked was, what is my current cash snapshot? Based off the instructions and the details behind how this agent was created, based off that singular simple prompt, it's going to know exactly what to do here. And so it's going to go out, going to search across all of my data, going to run AR, AP reports. You can see that's actually telling me exactly what it's going to do and asking for my approval at each step of the process. So keeping that human or that expert-driven loop intact here, not going to go out and do things without your approval. Once I approved all of the tool calls, all the tasks, it went out and actually fetched my current cash snapshot. So you can see here, it actually produced an 8-week rolling forecast, looking at my incoming and outgoing cash flow and my net cash on hand. giving me that final outcome of positive cash flow. And then actually even went a step further and looked at my AR and my AP accounts and saw which are overdue invoices out there that are worth following up on and collecting, as well as on the AP side, which payments I should delay because there's no risk in missing a discount based off the terms, or which payments I should go ahead and process because I can capitalize on some of those terms and save additional money sending that payment out now. And so it's helping me understand my cash position. Again, just based off a singular question of what is my current cash position. It's going out and doing all the work for me, synthesizing that, and recommending actions for me to provide next. If I look back at this top open 5 invoices very quickly, I do want to call out as well, right? Trust and transparency is at the core of everything we do here at NetSuite. And so at any given time, if I want to better understand where this information is coming from and ask Oracle, I can click that little eye icon inside my chat, and it's going to show the exact logic and the steps that it took to aggregate this response. So it queried NetSuite using some SuiteQL to pull back the invoices that are open, kind of synthesize this information. And then at the end of the day, it actually ran custom SuiteQL. And so it actually exposes the exact query that it ran for me here so that I understand exactly what steps it took and what query it ran to produce this result. And so it surfaces all that information for me right here in context so that I can understand how it arrived at the answers and the business metrics that it received. Making sure that it's always audit ready and ready for you to review. And so if we go back to that original example where I had to analyze my revenue expense, produce a canvas, in line here, again, it produced a canvas pretty much exactly as I asked. So I have some KPI cards at the top here, looking at my operating expenses, my sales, my highest expense percent of sales month. So giving me those metrics at a glance, telling me the story of my revenue and expenses over time here, synthesizing that in a couple different ways, and then calling out key information for me here at the bottom. Again, helping me understand what's going on in my business so that I can make better, more informed decisions faster.
Christian, we actually have a few questions about the same thing. So people are wondering, what's the deal with permissions? Like what happens if you ask for data that your role doesn't actually have permission to see?
Great question. This is going to adhere very strictly to your roles and permissions. So if you're not able to access it through your roles permissions, through pointing and clicking, Ask Oracle will not pull that information back for you.
Perfect. And then the other thing is, do admins of the account have the ability to see what other employees are querying? Like, is there some sort of ability there to oversight what they're asking, what information they're being outputted, or it's more of a
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say maybe it's just a private conversation between you and Ask Oracle.
Yeah, on the specifics of that question, let's put that in the parking lot as well. I need to verify. I'm not sure if they can see the explicit prompts that users are asking. They can see kind of consumption across the account as well as giving specific roles access to Ask Oracle or not. So if there are some roles you don't want to have access to certain features, you can control that as an administrator.
Yeah, I thought so as well, but we'll make sure to answer in more depth afterwards. Thanks, Christian. You can keep going.
Of course. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So we saw Ask Oracle in action, pulling back data, synthesizing data, helping us tell a story around our information through a canvas, as well as just better understanding our business data inside NetSuite through narrative reports or narrative insights here. All of that is in NetSuite Next, coming soon to NetSuite users. Let's just focus now a little bit into NetSuite AI core capabilities that are at your disposal today. And so we did take a look at the Intelligent Close Manager. This is available in your current version of NetSuite to place that as a portlet on your dashboard where it's going to, again, review your accounting, AR, AP tasks. It's going to identify through generative AI insights some of those larger variances or priority tasks You can assign tasks out to people on your team, making sure that you're always moving toward your close, helping teams be more efficient and making sure nothing falls through the cracks. Intelligent Close Manager plays hand in hand with exception management. So whether you're accessing the exception management workbench through the Intelligent Close Manager exceptions to review, or have the standalone exception management portlet placed on your dashboard as well, you can drill down into that underlying workbench to see anomalies in your data. So both of these are what I call really low barriers to entry, right? You don't have to trust what it's doing for you. It's simply surfacing the information for you to review, helping your teams be more effective and not having to catch things during your reconciliation or searching for the data at the end of the month. Exception management also looks for variances other than missing transactions. So yes, if it expected a transaction that wasn't there, it's going to surface that. But maybe a vendor bill every month is coded for $5,000. This month, that same vendor bill is coded for $50,000. That's a potential $45,000 discrepancy in your data. It's going to flag that as an anomaly, saying, hey, past 6 months, this has been $5,000. This month it's $50,000. Someone should review this. Likewise, GL coding, if it's coded to a different account than normal, it'll flag that. Recently, we rolled out as well vendor entity detail changes. So if toward the end of the month, some of the vendor entity data changed, email address, make checks payable to field, certain data points on the vendor record that changed at a weird time, it's going to flag that for further review. So not only helping you catch financial errors, but helping you reduce risk in terms of your data changes as well across the system and aggregating all of that up into a single place for your team to review. We took a look at narrative insights inside NetSuite Next. This is available to you today to help you understand reports. So rather than combing through hundreds of rows or dozens of rows of data on your P&L, you can click a button and it's going to synthesize all of that data for you, produce summaries, key opportunities and risks, as well as recommended actions for you to take. Once again, transforming the way that you're not only interacting with NetSuite, but operating in your business from trying to understand what happened to shifting focus to why did it happen and what should I do next? And AI is going to help you understand that. We are always looking for ways to make your teams more efficient, no different in that tedious bank reconciliation process. So we understand that sometimes key points of data are hidden or embedded inside something like the memo field on your bank statement. So we've introduced AI into this process as well to help extract additional information from your bank statements so that we are now able to include that information in the reconciliation process. More is going to be matched automatically for you so that your teams are having to reconcile fewer transactions by hand. Now, bill capture has been around for a while, but once again, at your disposal to scan in those vendor invoices. Maybe it's just sent through an email. Really shifts your team from entering data to reviewing and approving, managing by exception, so that they can focus on more value-added tasks here. We all love cross-sell, upsell, expansion revenue type opportunities. And that's exactly what intelligent item recommendations are bringing to the forefront. So whether it's this item is out of stock and we want alternate items to recommend to a customer, or something like customers who bought this also bought that, highly correlated items, a printer is usually bought with printer ink, whatever that may be, you're able to help determine the algorithms that we're looking for in your data to surface those additional upsell opportunities. In addition, for you Suite Commerce customers out there, these item recommendations can be exposed on your Suite Commerce web store. So as they're browsing your site, as they're going to review the cart, we're presenting those additional revenue opportunities to your customer to quickly add to cart and help drive revenue through your various channels here. On the item side as well, we're rolling out an item creation assistant. So rather than, again, having your teams entering data, AI is really great at extracting information and populating fields based off of that data. And so that's exactly what we're bringing to you with the item creation assistant, where you're able to upload files. We're going to extract that data out of those files and populate the information in NetSuite for you so that your team is just checking the information and approving it rather than having to enter it manually by hand. So not only helping reduce the risk of typos or errors on that side, but getting your team to focus on more of those value-added tasks rather than manual data entry here.
This one I am very excited about. I thought that was major when I saw that, so
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure the audience will agree.
loving all the ways that we're again taking data entry is just, in my opinion, we should remove it at every chance. And so love that we're seeing, finding additional ways to do that here. Okay, so those were some of the features that I would kind of consider core or embedded AI features, right? And at the beginning, we talked about NetSuite from day one has been focused on how do we help you extend the platform to accommodate additional use cases or include additional functionality. And that's exactly what we're bringing with this kind of bucket of platform AI, as I call it. So first, one of the ones that I feel like doesn't get the love that it deserves is Prompt Studio. And so inside NetSuite, you're able to create your own custom prompt templates. You can include a preamble, which is, think of those instructions that you want to feed to every single prompt, notes about your business, about who you are, kind of expected results. But then on each of these prompts, you're able to specify the tonality, the format, maybe other fields on this record that you want to incorporate into your response, as well as how creative it can get with a response. Do you want more consistent, repeatable results, or do you want more marketing creative content that gets a little more fun in your language, right? You're then able to create custom actions for different text fields across NetSuite. So this does work hand in hand with Text Enhance to generate text-based descriptions or populate text fields across NetSuite with tailored prompts so that you get more consistent responses from that generative AI. Now, this also works hand in hand with your SuiteScript. And so the SuiteScript Gen AI API is one of my favorite features in NetSuite. So this allows you to create your own custom generative AI applications inside NetSuite. What we're seeing here today is taking product reviews, sending those to the LLM, generating a summary. So what you see on Amazon as, what customers say about this, you can expose that same type of insight on your Suite Commerce sites through the SuiteScript Gen AI API. In addition, on the back end, we're able to do more of a semantic analysis as well to see how your products are being reviewed or received by the market so that you can adjust as necessary. And this is just one use case with this. You can create customer summaries, project summaries. You can also extract text. So if you need to extract text from certain documents, populate NetSuite fields based off that information, using this SuiteScript Gen AI API allows you to do just that. I've also created custom applications where I'm feeding it pipeline information, opportunities, asking it to kind of score my pipeline and summarize that from an executive dashboard perspective so I can better understand my pipeline strength at any given moment.
And Christian, just to jump in for a second there.
Yeah.
From the Dolphia side, this feature that you just mentioned is something that we're very excited about because we also develop products as well. So we will be making quite a lot of use of this and have been.
Yeah, love it. I love when I hear the cool things that partners and customers are doing with some of this technology out there, especially when it comes to more of these like extensibility kind of platform AI things. Thank you for that. So you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm not a developer. How can I take advantage of this? And again, this agent skills is probably my favorite feature that I've seen released in quite a while here at NetSuite. And so this takes your favorite AI coding agent and turns it into an experienced SuiteScript developer. And so there are 8 different skills that we've introduced into this free download, where it turns, again, your AI coding agent into experienced SuiteScript. So it's going to follow best practices, keep in mind performance, going to keep in mind security guardrails, understanding the record relationships inside NetSuite. It provides all of that rich context to your AI assistant to help it develop SuiteScript specific code. Beyond that, it's going to help validate that code and can also help deploy the code directly into your NetSuite environment. So it can shift that technically curious business user who's not a software engineer into helping prototype custom NetSuite solutions. on top of taking advantage of some of that SuiteScript Gen AI API to build out custom Gen AI applications inside NetSuite as well. And now it's not just for developers. We've also incorporated 2 additional business user skills, and we're rolling out more all the time. So one is a financial analyst, and one is an AI connector skill to help you produce more consistent, desirable results through the NetSuite AI connector. Speaking of NetSuite AI connector, this was built on Model Context Protocol. We released it about a year ago. We were the first ERP to market with something like this. And there is insane ROI on this because we rolled it out for free for customers. And so this allows you to connect NetSuite to those leading frontier LLMs. Think Anthropic, OpenAI, et cetera. It allows you to plug NetSuite into that data. It provides a tool set, right? Kind of instructions for that AI assistant to leverage to not just query your NetSuite data, but also help you create records. You can also use the agent skills to develop your own custom tools. So some of the stuff we've released internally is like a create save search custom tool where you can use natural language inside something like Claude to create a save search inside NetSuite. And now this really helps you break down the 4 walls of NetSuite as well. So if we think about this from a broader context, these frontier models are releasing plugins and connections to all sorts of apps all the time. And so you can plug NetSuite into Claude. You can plug Claude into some of your procurement or expense management systems as well to query maybe purchase orders in your procurement system, compare that to what's been spent inside NetSuite, have it analyze the data, see where you need to post accruals, then have it actually post the accruals for you. And then at the next month on a scheduled task, it reverses those accruals. So you can automate your entire business system stack through this MCP connection, not just helping you synthesize and analyze your NetSuite data. When we
use this one sorry, Christian. I use that every single day. Like I have Claude connected to NetSuite and I use it every single day. And for the audience, if you guys need help setting that up, I actually did a video a couple of months ago walking you through the steps of how you connected, which is really straightforward. So we'll make sure to send that link also after the meeting. If you haven't tried that, please do. And if you still need help after watching the video, just let me know and I'm happy to help.
Truly one of those things that I tell customers to set aside 30 minutes, but realistically it probably takes 10, right? It's one of those, like, it's super easy to set up and you can get instant value from it. And that's really where, Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say absolutely. And then I've been using it ever since, like every day, literally.
And so that's where, sorry, you cut
out
on my end.
We lost you for a minute. Yeah, there you go.
That's that unstable internet connection. So that's really where also having that MCP connector, that AI connector, shifts it from an investment in NetSuite and NetSuite releases to now gaining value from both the releases and product updates from those frontier LLMs, as well as from the NetSuite AI side. And so it's incredible value when you start leveraging the AI connector. And that's actually why we've rolled out the AI Companion Suite app as well. So again, another free Suite app for customers to go install and download that has over 100 pre-vetted, verified prompts for you to start using on day one. So it's across different business areas, AR, AP, finance, et cetera. These are really plug and play in terms of how do I start getting value out of this NetSuite AI connector when I'm not a prompt engineering expert. In addition to that, speaking of when frontier LLMs release new features, Anthropic recently released this notion of MCP apps. So NetSuite immediately incorporated those into the NetSuite AI connector toolset so that you can now have a more direct user interface to interact with NetSuite inside your Claude chat. So things like selecting the specific business record that you're asking Claude to query, applying report filters, or selecting subsidiary context. All of these things you can do within the Claude user interface now to help it refine and narrow in the results that you're looking for as it's going out and querying that data. And so that is really where that investment in AI or investment in NetSuite truly becomes an investment in AI, and not only what we're doing, but also being able to incorporate some of those features that these other LLMs are rolling out. And so I know we've covered a lot today, but at the end of the day, all of the context-rich data that is already existing within your ERP is going to really help you accelerate your AI adoption, as well as the value that you're getting out of leveraging AI, because we all know that the best AI comes from the best data, and the best data is within NetSuite. So with that, Fran, are there any other questions that we can help address?
Yes, actually. So one of the questions is, will NetSuite Next be able to look at and analyze memo text information? So for example, can you query a list of customers who have tasks that in the memo it contains a specific term?
To my knowledge, it would be able to query. We query those fields on or those specific data points inside records. That is inclusive of custom fields and custom records.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've done similar queries through the Claude AI connector. So if I've been able to do there, you most definitely will be in Ask Oracle. So short answer is yes. The other question we have, which is an interesting topic that since we have a couple minutes left, we can maybe cover a little bit is, will there be separate billing for AI usage in NetSuite? And this is actually something that's very recently been kind of like communicated, Christian, which is about the AI units, right? So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about how that works?
Correct. Yep. So all of the features that we looked at today, exclusive of bill capture, since that's an add-on, is being rolled out included in your subscription. What we recently announced is the notion of AI units. And this is our way of tracking the consumption of AI. So you do get a certain number of allotted units with your subscription. You can decide once you consume those over the course of your term, do you want to purchase additional AI units? So they're not quite credits or tokens. You can think of them kind of synonymously like that, because that is how that's the method we're using to track AI consumption. But at the end of the day, it is free to start using it. At a certain threshold, you will need to purchase additional AI units.
Okay. And just to add to that, from what I've read, Christian, but correct me if I'm wrong, these are on the account level, right? So if you have one user that it's not using them at all, and then you have a hoarder, you can have another user kind of use the ones that are being left unused. So it's not something that is being tracked on a personal level, but more on the account level.
Great call out. That is absolutely true. It's at the account level. And I believe Tavano Team recently released was it a webinar on AI units as well?
I actually did as soon as I read the post, I did a quick video as well. You can see it in LinkedIn, and I'm explaining this a little bit more. So if you want to find that, you'll just get a bit more insight. Okay. We actually have another question. This attendee says they're very new to AI, and they want to learn a bit more about how Cloud could work with NetSuite and other softwares that they have connected. So am I correct in understanding that connecting Claude to Zapier, Cognito Forms, and NetSuite would allow Claude to give specific directions for the information in those platforms?
Yes, and it'll depend on the exact system and how how Claude allows the connection. So speaking from specifically a NetSuite purview, you are able to connect Claude to NetSuite. It's called Model Context Protocol. It's a standard that Anthropic actually introduced, so Claude introduced. That is the way in which Claude connects to external business systems. And so again, it kind of depends on how those systems, I think you mentioned like Zapier and a couple other forms, and Claude have developed that connection. But essentially, yes, it allows you from inside Claude to access and connect these other business systems, pull all that information back into Claude to then analyze, synthesize, perform actions on your behalf.
Just to jump in there for a second, at Dolphia, we provide AI training modules in which we tailor it for each specific company. So those things that or anonymous attendee is mentioning, we very much provide training services for that, and we can help out at fleshing everything out.
Yeah, I've personally used their help, and I've have some stuff going on with our integration with Gmail and HubSpot. So I have kind of like all of our systems working together, and just kind of Claude there in the middle, um, helping me get everything figured out. So just to give you guys an example, I will get data from NetSuite through the MCP and use that to draft emails of stuff that I need to write. So that will tell, like Claude will get the information I asked from NetSuite, and then based on the analysis that I asked Claude to do, it just basically goes to my Gmail account and creates drafts for me that then I, of course, review and change and send out. Just one example of a million things you could do with all your different technology stack.
And it's literally almost limitless, because as these AI like Claude is rolling out new features, you can start scheduling tasks, right? So if every Monday morning you wanted to look at your maybe your pipeline in NetSuite, analyze stale accounts, draft emails, and have those sitting for you in your Gmail account to review and send out, like you can schedule that task on a regular basis. So having all these different business systems connected in something like Claude really becomes almost like workflow orchestration while infusing AI analysis into it.
That's exactly the workflow that I have. I used to, I guess, dread Mondays, but now I have them pretty much automated for sure. So
It's
yeah,
almost like we
definitely.
rehearsed that and we didn't. I love it.
No.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, we only have a minute left. There were a couple questions that we didn't get to answer, but we will make sure to answer them when we follow up by email. Again, thank you so much, Christian. This was so helpful. We will share, we've been working on getting content out there to give this more visibility, because we truly feel like this is going to just change everyone's game. And we're going to be very close and tuning to see as NetSuite Next gets released, how we can help you guys use it and leverage it for your business. I have to say that as partners, we have access. We've had access for a while. We've been using it, we've been testing it, and we're thrilled. So as soon as you guys get it released to your account, feel free to reach out if you want help, or in all honesty, with anything related to AI. That's what Dolphia is doing. So anything we can do to help your business get into this new wave, or get you guys even more into it, if you've already started, we're happy to do so. Thank you so much for joining and sticking around. And yeah, maybe we can follow up in a few months and do another webinar, Christian, to see how things are kind of, this is all so fast. I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about soon.
Changing monthly, if not weekly. So love that. Thank you for having me, Fran. And thank you everyone for taking time and joining us today.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.